Traveler's Gift. And Kamille will be taking it forward, and followed by Gayatri Joshi leading with a review of the book, Peace is Every Step. So these two are the books lined up for review today. So we will start with the storytelling session. The second book, titled Peace is Every Step, made me think about the concept of peace. So today I have decided to narrate a story on peace. This is a story quite common to, well known. It has been much commonly used on all corporate platforms, on students' counseling platforms, and all that. This is a story about Lord Buddha talking to his disciples while walking on his long journey for enlightenment, acquiring more knowledge and more wisdom. So while walking by the lake, he stops by and he's asking of one of his disciples to fetch for him a cup of water since he is thirsty. Now the student walks down to the lake, stoops over, bends over to get him a cup of water. But then he notices the water is quite muddy and turbid. Why? Because a few minutes earlier, a bullock cart had crossed by the lake. So it has left its trail behind, and the water was quite soiled and not worthy, not fit for being used for consumption. So the student walks back to Lord Buddha and he says, "Sorry, sir, I have not been able to get you the water because the water is not fit for drinking. It is turbid, it is quite muddy." The Buddha says nothing, he accepts the answer and they move on. After some time, he goes by the same lake. He's walking by the same lake. After some time, he says, why don't you get me some water?" The student goes back again, comes back with the same answer. This time also, the water is turbid and muddy. Again, after some time, Buddha says, "Now I'm really thirsty. Could you now go and check and get me some water?" So then again, the student goes to the lake. And this time, to his surprise, the water is crystal clear. So he collects the water in the cup, brings it back to Lord Buddha. And now Buddha is asking him, "What did you notice? Can I drink this now?" And the student says, "Yes, of course, sir. This is now fit for drinking." So what is the lesson in this? So Lord Buddha is asking the student, and the student is looking perplexed. So then Lord Buddha goes on to give him the lesson, this enlightenment for the day, which is anything which is disturbing, anything which is muddy or soiled, give it some rest for a while. Rest it for a while, it will clear by itself. This is similar to all the problems we encounter in our lives. Nobody is going to be having a life of a bed of roses. It's going to be turbid, it is going to be muddy, it is going to be with a lot of disturbances and distractions. But leave it. Rest your mind, rest your soul, be at peace. Finally, it will clear out by itself and then move on. This is the message that we would like to ponder on this evening. So with that, I hand over to Anil to take this session forward.
Thank you. Sulata. This is a great evening to all of you again. We have two powerful speakers today and two powerful books I would like to introduce today. And the first one is a great friend of mine, Kamille Thomas. She's a US Air Force veteran. By qualification, she's a psychologist, a John Maxwell certified speaker. She's going to speak about a very powerful book. It's A Traveler's Gift. A 46-year-old David Ponder feels like a total failure. Once a high-flying executive, I can resonate with the story. With a Fortune 500 company, he now works as a part-time minimum wage job and struggles to support his family. Then an even greater crisis hits. His daughter becomes ill and he cannot afford to get her the medical help she needs. And the story is a very powerful. And then Kamille is going to talk about the 7 tips to lead a powerful life. Kamille, welcome on to e-Bookery platform. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you for having me here. And thank you all for being on here this, I was going to say morning because it's 9 a.m. here, but evening for most of you. So thank you. Thank you. So yes, I chose The Traveler's Gift, and the reason that's one of my favorite books. I'm an avid book reader, so depends on the day of week. I'll tell you that this is a favorite book of mine. This is another favorite book of mine. It just depends, you know. But like he was saying, David Ponder, he was an executive in a company for 23 years. When the company was sold from under him, he sacrificed a lot of time and energy from his family to make sure that he was able to create the life that they wanted to live. His wife worked at first, and then, you know, when she decided to have kids and stuff like that, then they said, you know what, you don't have to work anymore, and kind of lived a modest life. But he was the caretaker there, or I should say the provider, not the caretaker. His wife took care of his daughter. And then in the blink of an eye, like what happens with many of us, you know, our life circumstances change. And he found himself without a job anymore. He found himself working in a hardware, went from an executive working in a hardware store, to where his daughter got sick. They didn't have the money to get her to the doctor. And while he's trying to talk to his wife on the phone about it, his boss comes in, tells him he needs to hang up the phone. He's like, my daughter is sick, trying to drown out the noise from there, drown out the noise within. And once he hangs up the phone, he finds out that he's fired. You know, within 7 months of losing his executive job, his corporate job, they depleted all of their savings. And so he was feeling a way like everything is coming down on me. And he wanted to end it all. So he gets in his little beat up car that he paid $900 for, because for years he had a company car. So he didn't have to worry about having an actual car. Bought a little junker for $900 and floored it. You know, and as he's going, he's just flooring it, flooring it, flooring it. Why, God? Why me? Is what he's yelling. He hits a patch of black ice, spins out, and wakes up in another world. And I say another world, but in another time. And so today I chose this because so many times we say, I know I've, you know, been guilty of it before. Why, God? Why me? You know, and I remember it was my mother who used to say, why not you? Why not you? You are able to do and accomplish so much more. What's the lesson in it? She said, oftentimes we look at, you know, things are done to us, but oftentimes they're done for us to build character in us, to build perseverance, resilience, all this. So I had to make a shift in my mindset to say, why not me? And what can I learn from each of these lessons? And so I'm going to walk you through really quickly a little PowerPoint that I put together on these lessons on the Traveler's Gift. Let me go to big screen here. And it's by Andy Andrews. If you guys have not read it, I encourage you to read it. So why me? That's the question that many of us have asked more than one time in our life, right? But why not me is the better question. You know, when we go through things like that, I believe that a higher power, whatever that is, feels like we're special enough to do that. You know, he gives his biggest fights to the biggest warriors. And, you know, some of us are military, and I say, well, one thing they did train me to do was fight. So I must be a great warrior because I had to fight my entire career, you know, not just in the career itself, in my job, but in my life and during all the things that I've, you know, done in that career. And then there's always something to be learned in that experience. You know, someone will need what you have learned. We often say too, our gifts are not for us. You know, what is it that we receive something, you know, put it on the shelf. Somebody, they thought of you, created this, you know, beautiful gift, handcrafted just for you. You said, oh, thank you for the gift. And you put it on the shelf, never opened it. Cemetery. What do they say about that? Richest place on earth, right? Therein lies all the gifts, talents, and everything else that people have never, ever, ever used or opened. So somebody will need what you have. And then because you're fully equipped, when something comes to you, an idea, you are fully equipped to solve it, even when you think you're not. We have the ability to solve every question that we have. And so the 7 decisions. When Andy went through all of this, there were 7 decisions. He woke up in another place with 1945, Germany with Harry Truman. Okay, so this book kind of walks through. He goes through 7 different people in, I guess, that have historical value. And each of them, he gets a glimpse in their life And then they leave him with a gift, what they call a gift. And his instruction is to read this twice a day. But the thing was, once they gave him those words on a piece of paper, the moment he read them, he would be gone. So he would no longer have that experience with the person, and boom, off to the next. But I'm going to walk you through some of the characters very quickly and the decisions that he had to make. So, first stop was Harry Truman. Harry Truman's message to him was, the buck stops here. And it's talking about taking responsibility for your life, creating a mindset shift change that says, I am the captain of my soul. I can make the decisions that determine my future. My past doesn't have to determine my future, but where I decide to go will. So I accept my responsibility for my past, and I'm responsible for my success. We're all in a situation of our choosing, which means we are where we are right now as a result of our thinking. Let that marinate for a minute. We are where we are right now as a result of our thinking. So if you're not where you want to be, then your thinking probably needs to change. And then down here, where physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually right now is a result. And that is a holistic approach. It's not just where I'm at in my job. It's not just where I'm at in my family. It's spiritually. Am I where I am? Mentally, am I where I want to be? Physically, do I, have the health that I desire? Am I in the shape that I want to? It's a direct result of our thinking. Our thinking dictates our decisions. Our decisions dictate our choices. So we are what we think. And then my mind will live in the solutions of the future and not the problems of the past. So these were little nuggets that Harry Truman had left for Mr. Ponder. And if you're wondering, Mr. Ponder said, he spun out, hit that black house, he spun out and everything went black and he woke up there. His question was, am I dead? That was the first thing, especially when he realized he was in 1945 instead of, current day where he was. He was like, am I dead? And he says, no, you're not dead. So he was kind of in an in-between, having to make, and the reason was because he said, the creator, there are a few special people that needed these different lessons. And so he kind of preserved him so that he can have this and make better choices in the future. King Solomon was the second person that he went and saw. So he went way back. And King Solomon's advice to him was to seek wisdom. It says, wisdom waits to be gathered, but only few find her. Find her, and you will find success and contentment. What that means is wisdom is not given to you in a moment. You don't just wake up one day and become wise. It takes a lot of intentional searching for wisdom, surrounding yourself with people, watching what you ingest with your eyes and with your ears, picking up on those positive things, the positive energy, positive vibes, positive words of people, looking for people that are doing what you want to do, picking up those nuggets along the way. Wisdom waits to be gathered, but there are only a few that are patient enough to really, really, really find her and actively seek out wisdom. So with this being said, I would train my eyes and ears to listen and read books that will positively impact my life. These are some lessons that he was learning along the way. I'll listen to the counsel of wise men. I'll be a servant unto others. Our gifts are not for ourselves. They are to serve others. When we have a gift, it only does one thing with us. When we share it with others, we can bring joy, we can bring contentment, we can bring, knowledge and so many other things to so many more people if we would just share our gifts, open up our mouth and say whatever it is that is put on the inside of us. And then a person with a servant's heart is wealthy beyond measure. And I will tell you, the more I serve, the more I have. Not necessarily in, monetary or physical, but the more I give, the more I receive, whether it's love or counsel, people pouring into me, the more I receive. So these are just great life nuggets to get us through. The next person was Colonel Joshua Chamberlain, and he was out of the Union Army, early 1900s. And his message to David was, I am a person of action. Beginning today, I will create a new future by creating a new me. Again, our past does not define us. Where we want to be, the actions that we take today will dictate what our future is. So if you want a different future, you have to start by creating a new you today. So when I'm faced with the choice to do something or nothing, I choose to act. It is a choice. A lot of people sit back and they want to wait for everything to align, and they say, well, maybe I'll just get lucky. What do they say? Luck is opportunity versus preparation, which means that there has to be some action. But also, I say when you prepare yourself, opportunities show up that you never would have wanted. And I say it's by divine appointment because you have prepared. This is part of your life plan. But sometimes we can't move forward if we haven't done what we need to do right now to get where we need to be. So I'm energetic. Say the universe likes speed. So I move quickly. I'm a person of action. I inspire others with my activity. I'm a leader, and leadership is doing. Leading is doing. It's a verb, right? The next one is Christopher Columbus. I have a decided heart. A lot of people are very wishy-washy. They don't have very decided hearts. I went through a point in my time where I was the same way. I couldn't make a decision to save my life when it came to my own life. Now, when it was leading and doing things for other people, I was very decisive, very decisive. But then when it came to me, I'm like, oh, is this the right thing? I don't know if this is the right thing for me. Am I going to do this and that? But I had to have a decided heart. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. You have to decide to take that step. Passionate about the decisions for my future. The power to control direction belongs to me. Today, I'm exercising that power. I'm choosing which direction that I want to go. I'm decided in my heart about where I want to be. And then again, I will not wait. I will not procrastinate. And then my problems become smaller when I confront them. A lot of times we sit back and wait, hoping that they disappear. And typically what we know about problems is they don't go away, they get bigger. Either the problem gets bigger or something moves out of its way. All right. So sometimes we end up breaking, waiting for that, big break to come along. But we have to decide in our hearts that we want to do something. So when a problem arises, we have to take the action to confront them. Anne Frank. If you guys know the story of Anne Frank, the little girl back in the Holocaust days. Today, I would choose to be happy. If you've read that book, in the mind of a teenage girl, that no matter everything that was going on, she can still choose to be happy in those moments. Happiness is a choice. Beginning in this moment, he was telling David, I choose to be happy. No matter what goes on around you, you have the power to choose to be happy. Or she was telling David in that, rather. I'm the possessor of a great spirit. I greet each day with laughter. The power of who I am is displayed when I smile, and I smile at every person I meet. I was very intentional about this. I'm going to share this really quickly. I was walking. I love to walk, run, but with injuries and stuff, I can't run anymore. So I would walk, whether it was a mile or 13 miles in a day. And every car and every person that approached me, I waved and I smiled. Good morning, good afternoon, good morning. At first, so many people were like, looking at me crazy. And I just kept on. Next person, good morning. And then as time went on, every day I went out there, I would see, same cars, same routine, and they would wave and they would wave. And the next thing you knew, you see big smiles. Then before I can even approach them, I hear honks coming, hey, throwing their things. Smiles are contagious. The power of who you are. I literally changed hundreds of people's moods in that moment every single day. So I smile at everybody that I meet. Abraham Lincoln, I greet this day with a forgiving spirit. By granting forgiveness, I release the demons of the past and I create in myself a new heart. I even forgive those who don't ask for forgiveness and those who don't think they need forgiveness. It's a release that happens when you forgive. And every day I greet with a forgiving spirit. Even the people that criticize me, the people that talk about me, the people that mean me no good, the people who have tried to sabotage my career, I forgive them. I forgive them. The lesson was learned in how to get over that. And it really, really refined me in a lot of areas of my life. And it really showed me what I was made of. So thank you for the lessons. I forgive you. And I also forgive myself for the times I may not have been so mature and I did not handle it the way that I wanted. I forgive myself. And then I'll persist without exception. This is the Archangel Gabriel. He said, I know the outcome I desire. A lot of times we know the outcome, but we don't we're not strong enough to stay fast and persistent enough to get it. So I hold fast to my dreams. I stay the course. My father-in-law used to say that. He just passed away in August. He said, I stay the course and I will not quit. I stay the course and I do not quit. When your mind is decided, your heart is decided. You have to be persistent and consistent and intentional and deliberate in going after that which you want. So I will continue despite exhaustion, even though I recognize exhaustion, and I rest when necessary, but I don't quit. I don't give up. I focus on results even when I don't enjoy the process, and I'm a person of great faith. I don't look left or right, backwards. It doesn't serve me, only forward, and I persist. I continue to move. So with Andy Andrews, 7 decisions, great life lessons in that story. First one, the buck stops here. Harry Truman, seek wisdom, King Solomon. I'm a person of action. That was Colonel Chamberlain. I have a decided heart, Christopher Columbus. Today, I will choose to be happy, Anne Frank. I will greet this day with a forgiving spirit, Abraham Lincoln. And I will persist without exception, the Archangel Gabriel. So let me stop my screen share real quick. Do I have any, let me stop here, questions? But I chose this book, let me say this, because oftentimes we get battered very quickly, we get battered and we get bruised and we want to give up. But there's so much in the staying power, the power of choice, the power of your mind, the power of deciding that you will do that which you know you can do and you want to do. You love yourself enough to continue to be persistent. And this was just an amazing book for me. I read it often, over and over often to help me when I struggle in certain areas. I have to remind myself that, again, I'm fully resourced. If something comes to me, it's because I am capable of solving. I'm capable of doing. I'm capable of overcoming. So thank you guys very much. I hope I didn't go over my time. I appreciate it. If you have any questions for me, love to hear them. Back over to you, Anil.
Thank you so much, Kamille. Thank you very much. Let's take a few reviews from our regular people here. Sulata,
Yes, sure. Thank you so much, Kamille. It was a very wonderful review that you have done. And your choice of book, brilliant. It carries a lot of lessons, a lot of meaningful insights as well. Brings to mind William Shakespeare quote unquote, it is not in the stars to hold our destiny, but in ourselves.
Yes.
The very same thought is reflected through in all the the lessons we have got from Harry Truman, from Columbus, from the wise King Solomon. It goes through and through your review. The same lesson has been carried forward. Thank you so much. It was a very brilliantly tailored review, and I think we should hear from more of our audience. May I call on Major Narayan? Are you there? It's always a treat to hear you give us a feedback. Are you there, Major Narayan?
Yes, I am.
Yes, so we would love to hear from you about this book review.
I thought what a small book can pack such powerful insights. And credit goes to Kamille for having brought out the entire wisdoms of the 7 decisions, be it Harry Truman or Colonel Chamberlain or King Solomon, Abraham Lincoln, Archangel Gabriel. What I particularly liked was how she started. One of the comments in the chat box read, smile is a universal language. And she was all smiles. And more than anything else, the way you've been able to carry yourself, Kamille, that truly proves that you've been internalizing each and every line of wisdom which has been there, pregnant with meaning in this book. And you've been able to bring it out in greater power, greater intensity, and immensely we've been delighted to see you presenting the book as much as if we were to read the book, whatever joy that we will have, you'll be able to bring it in much more greater measure. Truly a creditable performance, and I should commend you on the choice of this book. There are thousands of books, but there has been some particular reason for you for having chosen this book. Can you tell me what is the reason which prompted you to go in for this book, Kamille?
You said, what is the reason that resonated with me?
Right. Okay, fine.
No, what is the word you used?
Happiness is a choice, you said.
Yes.
And seeing you perform, and you've been able to bring it out I only wish the author was here to listen to you speaking.
Thank you. Thank you.
Perfect,
Yeah,
perfect,
happiness
perfect.
is a
I'm
choice.
so happy.
Yes, happiness is a choice, and I had to learn, despite everything I went through, you know, you can still find happiness even in the darkest day. I lost my father in February, but overall, my feeling is gratefulness. I don't know that, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, you're so sad. No, I'm not sad. I'm grateful to have had my father for 43 years. I'm grateful because he was a wise man. I'm grateful because he was active and present in my life. And so I just have an overall feeling of gratitude when it comes to my father. I love him, and I'm glad that he, you know, he was chosen to be my father. So even in, you know, the hardest things, you can always find something to be happy about. And that's what I'm happy about in that. So thank you very much.
My pleasure. And I was particularly reminded of the famous quote when you said about Archangel Gabriel, that he said, I'll stay the course.
Yes.
I'm reminded of the saying, the Psalm of Mark. It says, I kept the faith, I fought a good fight, and I kept going. Very, very powerful. It immediately truly resonated with me from the words of the Bible. So kind of you. And may you bring in more such delights into the platform. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Major, for such a wonderful feedback. And Kamille, when you were talking about your personal loss of your father, really, you are like rightfully resonating Annie Frank. Today, I choose to be happy, grateful for what I have in my hand. Wonderful, wonderful that you have been able to absorb the thoughts from the book into your life. Well, let's hear more about it from Venkat sir. Venkat sir, please, would you kindly come on? Come on the screen, please, sir. Venkat sir, we would love to hear from you. I don't think Venkat sir is there.
Venkat sir is there. I'm not very sure whether you can hear him. Let's take maybe yeah.
Allow me to call on Geeta Nigam. Geeta,
Yes,
ma'am.
please. Yes, please.
Geeta, ma'am.
Geeta, ma'am, please unmute. Please unmute.
I'm so happy today to listen to Kamille. Kamille, you have spoken so well. The moral lessons that we have got it, you know, everyone should read such kinds of books, you know, to make their characters strong. It's very essential. It's not very essential to learn about the science, about everything. The knowledge is just a nil unless and until we don't have the knowledge, unless we don't have these ethical values to be learned about. Of each and every day we are learning something new, and we have to be content. We have to be content with whatever we have. This is a moral value that has been given to every religion. This is a Christian, and this is what the Christ has taught us. That's what we learn from the Solomon. That's what has been taught by Abraham Lincoln also, has been very strictly, sternly, very morally disciplined person, you know, and everything, you know, whatever we are today, we cannot live. Whatever the job we do, it's all invalid. It has no meaning unless and until we are not well satisfied within our own self, with our own self. Whatever we have to be satisfied, because work is in our hand. We can do work, but we cannot be hasty towards the prosperity a lot. We should not be lustful. We should not be lusty, greedy. These greediness, this proudy feeling, and this kind of the feeling we shouldn't have. We should not develop. And this is very good story that you have given us, and we all should go through such kinds of the stories. Should be read by the children, especially. They should learn such. They should go through.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Geeta, ma'am.
So true. Yes.
Sulata, can we call Dr. Rajamani as well? I mean, Raja
Yes,
sir,
of
please.
course.
Okay, it's really very good, excellent presentations. I really enjoyed each and every frame, and one second. Every frame I really enjoyed. When I just listen the whole thing, I imagine as if I'm reading the Samuel Smiles book. I really always like Samuel Smiles book because it's very simple. He will just give one or two sentences only, but it will give a lot of meanings. The same thing like that. Only one question I want to ask Kamille, and also afterwards I want to ask one question to Anil also. Out of all the authors, which author really you really like the particular author very much? And why you like that particular author? Because you put some 7 authors, very big people. And out of that, which one really favorite? For me, is Abraham Lincoln. For you, who is that really your favorite? The next one is Anil Thomas. Sir, this particular slides, you can just publish it in our WhatsApp group. It's very useful. I think all the youngsters also should read it. Very good slides and very good presentations. Kamille, it's up to you to tell.
Thank you. So which one of those was my favorite?
Yes.
I would definitely have to say it's kind of a toss-up, I think, between Anne Frank choosing happiness, because I live by that, try to find the happiness in everything. But I also feel like the buck stops here with Harry Truman, because we have to stop making excuses for ourselves, saying, oh, we're not here because this person did this, or, I wasn't given this opportunity, or I was unable to do this, and buying into all of the boundaries or the restrictions that other people have for us, and realizing that we have the power to choose our life. What if Mother Teresa was like, I'm poor, I can't do something? Or Martin Luther King didn't stand up and say, this is not right. Or if Mahatma Gandhi didn't say, you know what, I'm going to show you guys how to, come up against this and not have to lift the finger. You know what I mean? If those people didn't make that choice, regardless of their circumstance, even, coming from a Christian background, and decided he was going to do something different, if he didn't say that, where would we be today? So we have to stop making excuses, understanding we have power. The power of our mind is just, infinite. But we put boundaries and we put lids on it. We stop ourselves from being great, from realizing our fullest potential. So the buck stops here. I'm going to stop making excuses for why I can't do something. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it as much as I can, the best I can. So
it's really very beautiful explanation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rajamani sir. Ankit, I understand you have a question.
What I'm suggesting you, because the slides are very good slides and powerful slides, you can put it in our WhatsApp group, no?
Sure. I will make the arrangement. I'll make the arrangement. Thank you so much.
Then every day we can just read, we can gain a lot of things from this.
Absolutely, I will do that. Ankit, you got a question?
Yes, indeed.
Hi, Kamille. I've already put my question in the chat. So if you could just reason that would help. I guess you answered most of it. If you could just help us with some example in your life wherein this book came to your help, maybe that could also add more value. Thanks.
Oh, sure, absolutely. So I guess there's been this whole book resonates with me, so I'm not going to give you every single situation, but the forgiveness was really big for me too, because I had a brother that I didn't speak to for 3 years, and it wasn't by necessarily my choice, but we had a disagreement about some things, and so he stopped talking to me. And at the end of the day, I said, you know what? I called him one day and I was praying that he would answer, and I said, you know what? It doesn't matter. None of that ever matters. You are my brother and I love you. And it doesn't matter what has happened between us, what the debts are, anything. I rather have my brother than anything else. And I got my brother back. And so forgiveness is so powerful.
Oh.
And so me and him are closer than ever. I'm sorry. Look, that makes me emotional, but we're closer than ever. And I love my brother. And I'm so glad that I could find it within myself. And then I had to forgive myself for holding that grudge as well. And saying, I could have maybe just said, forget it, don't worry about it. And I held that and I lost 3 years. However, the last few years have been so packed and so great that it's been.
That's really nice to hear from you. I mean, you taking that first step would have been really, really difficult, right? Picking up that phone and making that call. What goes into one's mind, or what you would say as an advice to people who are here to pick up that phone and take that first step?
Well, sometimes you only get one chance. You never know if that will be the only chance that you'll get and something happens. you know, and a lot of people struggle with the regret of, I felt this thing that says I should call, I should call, I should, and I never picked up the phone. And now my brother's gone, my father's gone, my friend is gone, and I was never able to tell them how I feel or say I love you. So my advice would be, if it comes to you, act on it immediately, because sometimes we get these messages, these signals that say this person needs you or this is the time. So the acting part of that too, you know, I'm a person of action. When you feel that, take the opportunity, because not only you, that could provide healing for you, but sometimes it's the other person that needs it. And sometimes you call in the nick of time that can literally save someone's life. So take the first step. Forgiveness never hurts anybody. Unforgiveness
Yes,
is what
very,
kills you.
very
Thank you so
Great.
much. Thanks for the kind words and sharing
so
your experience.
good, so good,
God
so
bless,
good.
and all the best for the future.
Good evening, Mr. Thomas.
Good evening.
I'm so sorry. I think you called me out.
Yes, true.
I
Yeah,
had,
we did.
and may I just mention a couple of things which I could really imbibe from the lovely presentation that Kamille just gave us. Just a couple
Please
of
do,
things.
sir.
One is that the book that she chose is really a powerful book, and it talks about the difference that attitudes make to face obstacles in life, and she's brought it out so beautifully with personal experiences. So I must commend her for having brought it out so beautifully. And secondly, yes, it's about learning from all our experiences in life. Like the story talks about learning from all the travelers. So it was a very beautiful presentation, and I thank her for introducing me to this beautiful book. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Okay, Sulata, maybe we can move on.
Yes, let's move on. Anil, I would invite you to introduce the second speaker for this evening.
Thank you, Sulata. Beginning today, I will create a new future by creating a new me. I'm going to remember this quote for a very, very long time. It's unfair on my part not to mention on the author Auntie Andrews. Auntie Andrews is an American author whose work has appeared on the New York Times bestseller list many times. Dave Ramsey called him our generation's Mark Twain. That's what he had called for. And I strongly recommend this book, The Traveler's Gift, for all of you. I mean, this is going to be an amazing book. ABC's Good Morning America named it as one of the 5 books you should read in your lifetime. So please go and get this book, The Traveler's Gift. Coming to the second speaker and book, are you at peace or at war with yourself? World-renowned Zen master, spiritual leader, and author Thich Nhat Hanh shows us how to make a positive use of the very situations that usually pressure and provoke us. And is a Buddhist monk, peace activist, and founder of the Plum Village tradition. And logically and beautifully written book. Peace is Every Step contains the commentaries and meditations, personal anecdotes, and stories from the author. He's a peace activist, teacher, and community leader. Let me not get into the book. Ms.Gayatri is a voracious reader, a thinker, and has a unique ability to translate the learnings into real time with a wonderful example, stories, and real time situations. She got a master's degree in human resources management from the University of Baroda. She also has done her hospital management from Pune University. She has done her diploma certification in transaction analysis, and Ms. Gayatri holds a certification in psychodrama. I'm not very sure about that. What it is, maybe she can explain to us. And Ms. Gayatri, thank you for coming and welcome on to e-Bookery.
Thank you. Thank you so much. First of all, I would like to start my book review by thanking the organizers of this e-Bookery show, and especially to Anilji for giving me this opportunity and platform. And the book that I'll be reviewing today, I'll be sharing my experiences and my learnings from the book. And as Anilji rightly said, just a minute. Am I audible now? Is it better, Ankit?
Yes,
the sound is better now. Yeah.
So the book that I'll be reviewing today is called as Peace at Every Step. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah. So as Anilji has rightly introduced the author,
The sound quality is not that good, Gayatri. Maybe are you using headphone?
You want me to use my earphones?
No, but the sound is not that good.
I'll try again.
Okay.
Let me know how it goes. Yeah?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yeah. Okay. So as Anilji has rightly said, the author, Thich Nhat Hanh, is a Nobel Peace Award nominee. He is a Vietnamese Zen master and has been a peace activist since last 40 to 50 years. And in this amazing guidebook, he teaches us and explains us the significance of being in touch with ourselves and mindfulness by using breathing in all the activities that we do. And he further explains that how when we are connected with ourselves, when we have the inner peace, how we can transcend that peace to the outer world, how we can bring in the peace on the earth and peace on the universe as well. And this book, the foreword is given by His Holiness Dalai Lama himself. The author starts with a wonderful thing that he says that, every day, all of us have a wonderful gift. The gift that is, we have brand new 24 hours. How do we use those 24 hours is up to us. And for bringing in that peace and that happiness in whatever we do, he says that breathing is the one technique that will take all of us at different places. And he gives lots of importance on smiling. I guess Kamille in her book review as well spoke how smile is a powerful tool that we have. It completely changes our frame of mind. So the author says that all of us need to remember that the dandelion has a smile, right? And all of us need to smile often. But we must be thinking that because we feel that we carry the burden of the universe on our shoulders, that's what we think. We are so anxious about the future. We worry all the time. We operate under tension and stress. But how can I smile? That is what generally we think. But the author says that remember that dandelion has a smile. And that dandelion can be anyone. It can be your pet. It can be your family member. It can be your friend. Or it can be your entire community. And remember, that dandelion is holding the flower for you. And you are that dandelion for everyone that is around you. Right? And for that, he says that, but how do we connect with that smile? And he says, breathing is the exercise.
Gayatri, can I stop you for a minute, please? Because the sound is still not very, very good. The voice quality is not that good.
Let me try again with my
Muffle the sound. Go on.
Is it better now?
Yeah, it is better now. Yeah, definitely it is better now.
Better?
Yeah.
Okay. So, but how do we connect with that smile? And breathing is the exercise that will help us in connect. Okay. So now I'm going to demonstrate something. And I want you to follow that with me. Okay. I want you to close your eyes. And when you breathe in, we need to say, breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. And you need to do that. Please go ahead. Close your eyes. Please close your eyes. When you breathe in, say to yourself that breathing in, I calm my mind. Breathing out, I smile. And then you smile. Yeah? And would you like to share with me, what did you feel in that moment? You can use your chat boxes and just let me know how that moment was for you. Anything? I can still see some people smiling. What did you feel in that moment? Light? Yeah? Lovely. Thank you, Teresa. I think all of us felt relaxed in that moment.
Yes,
yeah? Yes. And that is the effect a smile does for us. Yeah? So what we need to say, breathing in, I calm my mind. Breathing out, I smile, and this moment is a wonderful moment. This is how we connect with ourselves. And in that very moment, we have our own small droplet of peace, right? And that is a meditation that we do, and that is the way we find the peace. But lot of us associate meditation and mindfulness with the meditation room and with the meditation posture. You know, sit cross-legged in lotus pose or half lotus pose, close your eyes. That is how we connect mindfulness and meditation. And author contradicts us here. And he says, whatever we do in an entire day, we can be mindful. And he gives us and he lists us the activities that we can do while we are doing this task. He says there is eating meditation as well. Yeah? What we need to do is turn off the gadgets, keep that newspaper or keep that book away. When we gather at the dining table or at the breakfast table, look at the people around, look at your family members, look at your colleagues, smile. Look at your food, smile, and then indulge. And for that, he gives a beautiful experience. When the author was 5 years old, his mother used to bring him a cookie from market. He would take that cookie, go in the backyard, and he would spend 45 minutes eating that cookie. He would take a bite, enjoy the flavor. He would look at the sky, enjoy the white clouds, look at the dog. He will feel the grass with his feet, and he will enjoy the cookie. And he says, in that moment, I never worried about the future. I never indulged in the past. I was there, present with my food, and eating gave me most happiness. This is what eating meditation looks like. And all of us definitely can practice that every day. Then comes washing the dishes. I'm sure people would agree that it is not a very pleasant task to wash the dishes. We had our dinner and now we want to rush to TV to watch some news or want to go to fridge and open the freezer and have some dessert. We want to do that after dinner. But the first thing is we need to wash the dishes. The author says washing the dishes is to wash the dishes. That's the task. Let's make it a happy task. So he says, compared to other people, he takes time in washing the dishes, but he does that so mindfully that he enjoys the warmth of the water, the soapy feeling on the dishes, and he washes it mindfully. And that he does with breathing in, breathing out, and then he smiles. And again, he gives us a lovely anecdote for that. He says, Lord Buddha, one time, just hold a flower in front of 1,200 monks and nuns. He said nothing, he just held a flower. That's it. Everyone was looking at the flower, and lots of time went by, and then Buddha smiled, because one of the monks smiled. He enjoyed the beauty of the flower, and he smiled. Other monks were thinking, why Buddha is holding the flower? What does it mean? While the others were busy in thinking, Buddha and that monk was busy in enjoying how beautiful that flower is. And they were happy in that moment. To that extent, we can be indulged, we can be into the task we do and still find peace and happiness. And same goes for walking meditation. And I was struck by what author has said here. When we walk, what do we print on earth? Our anxiety and sorrow, or our peace and serenity? Recently, I have taken fondness in walking. But whenever I used to go for walking, what I used to do is I used to carry my cell phone with me. And I would use that walking time to connect with my friends. Or I would have my earphones and with some petty music on it, and I'll be running or I'll be jogging or I'll be walking very fast. And at the end of my 50 minutes walk, I would be concerned about, if I'm jogging with my earphones, I would be concerned about how many kilometers I ran or how much calories I have burned. And then I would compare it with my earlier record, and I would say only 3.5 kilometers, that's not enough. Or if I'm connecting with my friends over telephone, I would say that, oh, how can she say that thing to me? She got mean. So in that 50 minutes of walking, what have I achieved? Nothing probably, right? So the author says that connect the walking time with your breathing and with your mindfulness. How do we do that? When we take 3 steps, we breathe in, out, and smile. And trust me, now I do my walking with my cell phone, but only for the purpose of, if at all someone calls me, my family members call me, I should have my phone. Otherwise, I just walk for 45 minutes, breathing in, breathing out, smiling. And I enjoy the nature around me. I enjoy the evening with light breeze, the sunset, and everything. And this has definitely given me peace and serenity. And I can assure you that I am printing happiness and serenity on earth, not my anxiety and not my sorrow. So that is what the important lesson the book has given to me. Next is an important activity that we do, driving. Yeah, and while explaining how we can meditate while driving, author has written this poem. He says that before I start my car, I know where I'm going. The car and I are one. If the car goes fast, I go fast. I read this poem for 3-4 times, and I couldn't exactly understand what he's trying to say. But then he goes on explaining it so wonderfully. He says that if you see a pianist on the piano or a violinist with a violin, it's a beautiful image to see, because both of them are going to create a wonderful piece of art, right? Or if you see a gunman with a gun, that's a dangerous image. It shows risk, right? So when you start your car, when you start your vehicle, it can be two-wheeler, it can be cycle, it can be car. The vehicle and you become one. Yeah. So do you want to rush, go jig, 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 jig? Or you want to be a car and reach at the destination very mindfully? So he says that next time, whenever you get stuck at the red light, don't fret, don't get annoyed. Let that red light be a reminder for all of us to breathe in, breathe out, and smile. Yeah? So don't worry about the traffic. Don't fight the traffic. It's useless to fight. Rather use that time to breathe in, breathe out, and again, smile. Right? Another important aspect that I came across while reading this book is concept in Buddhism called as aimlessness. An author says that sometimes being aimless is all what we need. In these times, we keep a lot of thrust on being goal-oriented. You ask anyone, where do you want to go? They will tell you, I want to do this, I want to do that. They will list down the goals and the targets. But if you ask, what do you want? They will give you one answer, peace and happiness. Yeah? So author says that this peace and happiness is already with us. So we are that peace and happiness. We need to find ourselves. So sometimes it's important to be aimless and sit in that posture, sit in that frame of being aimless. You know, it's important to take that pause so that we can heal from our anxiety, from our sorrow, and we can practice the mindfulness. It's important to find ourselves again with our breathing, right? Then he says that when we are mindful, we can transform and we can heal. And then he advocates this 5-step process: recognize the feeling, become one with the feeling, calm the feeling, release the feeling, let it go, and look deeply to transform the feeling. So for example, I'm feeling restless. What is it that I'm feeling? Oh, I'm being fearful. So I recognize the feeling. I become one with the feeling. I am fear. Fear is not a separate entity. It's not just an emotion. I am fear. I calm the fear. I ask the fear, what is it that you want? Why are you here? Oh, I fear being judged by people. Yeah? And then you release the feeling and then you see, can we transform it with something? And you can tell it to yourself, I'm worth it. I deserve it. I don't need people's approval. Yeah? So that is how the 5-step process of transformation and healing to advocate. And then there is beautiful concept called as alchemy of mindfulness. This is another aspect that I love from this book. He says that whenever we have certain positive emotions, positive feelings, when we think about happiness, when we think about joy, the joy grows. When we think about anger, hurt, restlessness, that feeling also grows. So whatever we feel, it further grows. But if we are mindful about it, if we are mindful about the positive emotions, if we are mindful about happiness, happiness grows. But if you focus on your negativity, you name the feeling and you let it go, it disappears. That is how the alchemy in totality works. Consciousness exists on 2 levels, as seeds and as a manifestation of these seeds. So if you recall any incident that you had that has made you angry, you are going to feel more angry about it because you relive the same emotion, you relive the same memories. So what are we planting in our minds? Happiness or anger? And here he says that one of the techniques that psychologists recommend is pillow pounding. So when you are angry, you just pound the pillows and let the anger go. But the anger vanishes, it disappears only for a few moments. But the anger is ourselves doesn't vanish. So in order to feel at peace, we need to plant the seeds which give us happiness, not the seeds which give us sorrow. Right? So what are we planting? What are we planting? What we plant is growth. So let's plant the seeds of happiness. Let's plant the seed of peace. Right? Another important thing that she said is generally when we meet someone and that person appears little low, little sad, we generally ask, hey, what's wrong? And then the person tells us what is wrong. We look down the things which are not working out for him. Author says instead of just asking, hey, what's wrong? Let's ask, hey, what is not wrong? Can we draw the person's attention? What is right in his mind? What is right in his life? So it will not make the problems go away, but it will make us feel more grateful towards the things that we have in our life. Right? And that moment, that will give us the further direction to strive better in our life. Right? So those were the learnings that I took out from the book Pieces Every Step. I will recommend this book for everyone who is in search of peace. The book has personally helped me a lot. I have been going through some difficult times since last 3-4 months in my life, and I was in search of peace. I was looking at, I want to be happy, I want peace, and I kept reading this book, and I realized that I had it in me. Why I was searching for it outside of it. All the time, I was the calmness, right? So the book is for everyone who stays in future too often. This book is for everyone who stays in past too often. And this book is for everyone who stays in present but worries and anxious often. So the book is basically for everyone. And I would like to end this book review with this poem given by Arnold Keller. He has compiled the lessons from Thich Nhat Hanh. And he says that shining red sun in my heart, each flower smile with me. How green, how fresh all that grows, how cool the wind blows. Peace is every step. It turns the endless path to joy. Peace is every step. And with this beautiful poem in my book review, thank you.
Thank you so much, Gayatri. That was wonderful, truly wonderful and very insightful. Anil, over to you. Your reviews we would like to hear first before we move on.
Thank you, Sulata. You calling me?
Yes.
All right. Thanks a lot. Okay, let me call a few more people. Like we have another 10 minutes from now, so maybe let me hear Somasa. Somasar is on. Somasar, are you then? Yes, Somasar is there. So let me hear it from Somasar.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Very much.
Yeah. Now, sometimes if you don't use the connection, I think the sound will be very clear. Kind of thing.
I'm so sorry, guys. I'm here. There was some technical issues at my end. I'm so sorry.
No problem.
Yeah,
but your mindfulness is really felt and we experienced. I think there is a baby, some voice also we heard, but you are totally in here, I think. So amazing. So what I want to tell today is somehow or other it turned out to be one of the top-notch day of a Bookery Club, because the book selections are of superior nature. I think the bar has gone up actually. The kind of book which has come today are wonderful book. And this book in particular, again, the first book is not one book, it's 7 books almost actually. And we should give all credit and a big clap to Kamille for bringing that. 7 books in one book review time is amazing thing. It's a very tough task since you are putting it in the WhatsApp's fine. And here in this book, very less she wrote 1 page, maybe 3 lines, or some page it is even 3 words. But that is so powerful. Like today I was discussing with one intellectual person. I asked him to join. I don't know whether he has joined. I told him there is a 2-word quote, very powerful quote. And that is simplicity lasts. Only 2 words, simplicity lasts. Her slides are like that. It appears simple, very powerful. Even the exercise, breathe in and breathe out, and you think about peace and calm. Like that every stage, and she's so cool, cucumber, which I never thought she can be such a, especially she's in the human resource management, my profession, and how she has become, now I know, because she's practicing mindfulness, I think, throughout her life, and that is what I saw on the stage now. She did not even show even a glimpse of something else is happening. She's focused here. The rest of the world is deleted. And one of the most beautiful thing, I think any lovers or any people who are really into serious relationship think should be, how can I be in some place? Just be there. Not for any purpose, not for any shopping, not for any list, and not for any ticking thing. Just be there as it is and where it is. That is one of the slides she was talking about. I think, Anil, I think you have to give us money. I think the way the books nowadays you are bringing, and it's almost tempting for us to buy. So we need money. Bookery Club should give us money. All of us want to buy the book. It is so tempting. So the reviewers are doing really justice. So really we should all give a big round of claps for them, because hard work they have done to bring such a substance book into precise fashion, and with the 10 slides, pakka, complete. And not only that, she has got a noble mind, and she is little poetic, and with the description you can make, she ends with such a wonderful poem. That is a reminiscence, and I feel like walking on the woods, walking on the tree, and doing that meditation. But wonderful book, amazing. So since others are there, I'm not taking that much time. And Kamille did a wonderful job about selecting that book, and I had to buy that. So I will send a bill to you, Anil.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so very much for those wonderful comments. I've been hearing a lot.
Can I take Charissa from Philippines?
Yeah, I was just about to call on her. Charissa, over to you. I've seen a lot of your comments appearing here in the chat room. Now let's hear from you. Over to you.
Well, hello everyone. First of all, I'm so glad that I have joined my first time actually here joining. Well, if you see me now, I'm smiling. I feel so light. But what has been discussed, everything, life is a gift for me. And I would like to quote one in the cartoons of Kung Fu Panda that yesterday was history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift because it's present. Yeah. So I really enjoyed listening to the book. Though I don't know what the book is all about, but I started to imagine things, how life is so beautiful, how you'll be able to meditate. Especially like Camille, I came in actually when she ended it up. But I'm so glad that I did join this. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Cherry. So that was a wonderful feedback. Over to you, Sapna. Would you have something to share with us, Sapna?
Thanks, Sulata. Both the books, as you said, have been, it's somehow connected to each other. And more than Kamille, as you said, it's actually the way she has kept, the way she has presented it with the presentation itself makes us, as Sajid has said, we definitely would like to go for the books. And, and thank you, Gayatri. You have really made me walk through that woods. And I'm definitely going to find some woods and going to walk for the meditation. Thank you so much, both of you. Have done a really good presentation. Thank you so much, Gayatri and Kamille.
Thank you, Sapna. Thank you so much, Sapna. That was indeed a good feedback. And yeah, like you rightfully said, both the books are inspirational. Both the books are putting us back on track, especially the second book review that covered the slide about transforming the feeling, the 5 steps in transforming the feeling, where you take control of your feeling. It's absolutely right. And yet again, the one slide that where she projected, sometimes being aimless is also good.
Yeah.
That we end up doing.
Yes, that's very, very true.
That we end up doing a lot these days, sitting at home. But yeah, we are trying to see the better side. The flip side is always there, but we're always trying to see the better side of it as well. Now over to Annamma. Annamma, are you there? Annamma?
I didn't wanted you all to call me, so I switched off my video.
We don't spare anyone. Let's hear from you.
It was wonderful, both the book review, and I liked, both the books I liked. Ms. Gayatri's book, I was thinking about that picture, walking in the woods. Okay. I think anybody, if we walk in the woods, we will feel calm and peace, I feel. You should have taken a picture of people walking in the city. I was thinking when you see them, they are filled with tension, worried, and where is the smile? I was just reflecting that. And also I liked the last, you said about recognize your feeling, become one with your feeling, calmness, calm the feeling. So these things, I think so, it was very true. And Kamille, as you said, which book you choose, somebody asked which book you like the best or something. Then you said, why did you choose? They asked. Then you said it resonates within me. That's very true. Why we are here? All those who are here, we liked both the books. I think so that has some connection in our life. So that's the reason might be we liked both the books. So it's a wonderful. Thank you, Anil sir. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, Annamma, for your forthright comments.
Sulata, she is not an ordinary person. She is the winner of Cambridge University Press Education 2021 dedicated teacher.
Wonderful.
She has won many global awards.
Great, great. Wonderful to have you here with us. It's a privilege to be connected with you. And I'm going to take a detour. I'm going to connect the two speakers. Let's connect Gayatri and Kamille and hear from them. Kamille, over to you. What do you have to say about the session?
Thank you. The session, I'm very honored to be a part of the session. Gayatri, specifically to you, I want to say thank you. I love, like I said, to smile, and what your presentation brought back was, it was that bringing you back to center. Because oftentimes we get so busy with everything going on in our lives that we just don't take the time to, a lot of people say, oh, I meditate, but what does that really mean? And we think that we have to be in a certain pose, in a certain place. But, you showed us that you can be present in the moment, no matter where you are, whether you're doing mindful driving or mindful walking, or, you're just taking in the beauty around you, just stopping. I like the long drives, being one with my car. So not being able to drive for the last 6 months has been nerve-wracking, because now I have my energy is at the speed of someone else instead of my own speed. So I'm pressing the brake while they're pressing the gas, So, but driving mindfully is go where I think Sharisa said it, go where the road takes you. And I would take long drives, but we need that center, bringing it back to center. Your slides were beautifully presented. Very wonderful, very simple, but very powerful. So for you, I want to say thank you to you for your presentation. Really, 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 I literally was picturing myself, even though my eyes were open, my mind was taking me to where those pictures were, just the serenity of that space. So thank you very much. I appreciate
Thank you so much, Kamille.
presentation. Yes.
Thank you.
Gayatri, what would you have to say?
It has been a wonderful experience. I have shared. I've been reading so many books, and I keep sharing my experiences and learnings from the book with my colleagues, with my family members. But I guess this was a formal platform where, for the first time, I did a book review, and I won't lie, I was nervous. And while Kamille was presenting her views on the book, you won't believe how many times I have done this in, out, and smile. So by sitting here, I was practicing that, and that really gave me a lot of confidence and peace in me to share my learnings with you. It was a wonderful experience. And Kamille, I loved the way you brought out the learnings from the book. The aspect of the wisdom had stayed with me from the King Solomon. It was wonderful. So thank you so much, everyone. I think I speak for Kamille as well for giving both of us this opportunity. So humbled and gratitude. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gayatri. Over to you, Anil. Thanks to you, Anil, for bringing two wonderful ladies on this forum this evening. So what do you have to say? Anything more from your side?
Thank you so much, Sulata. Thank you, Kamille, for coming onto our platform. And it was a very powerful experience with you today. And I know how powerful speaker are you on different other platforms. And yet again, another chance to be with you. And thank you again with the Gayatri. Thanks a lot for coming. And thanks each and every one of you. Great.
Thank you.
So with that, I think we can come to we have come to the close of this evening event. So we all leave each other with a parting note. We choose to be smiling and happy for the rest of our lives.
Yeah. And thank you, Sulata. You did a wonderful job of hosting.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Brilliant.
Thank you. So let's move on. Have a wonderful night. Till we catch up again next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you, everyone. Stay safe. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. You too.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.